Hello everyone, in this video we are going to have a look on flexbox. We are going to align all flex items based on our requirements. And without wasting any time, let me move further into the topic. To give you an overview of flexbox, let me create one container in our HTML markup language. Here I am considering one container. Okay. I am choosing my div container with some class name as flex container. I am using this container. Within this div container, I am supposed to use another some div containers like div dot flex items, right? And I want to make these into some 5 elements, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I am using some text like 001, and here I am using 002, and in bottom 003. I am creating these containers with some flex items like this, and I am saving it. If I going to refresh the page, we are having these flex items here, but I don't need them there. If I cut this thing here and I am pasting over below the footer. We are going to refresh the page and see here we have the general div elements like this 001, 000, 003, 004. And for these all elements, we are creating one common class flex items. Within our CSS file, I am giving one container backgrounds, right? For this entire container, I am giving one background color. For your identification of the particular container, I am giving my flex container, right? I am using my flex container, and within that flex container, I am choosing my background color, right? My background color as black, let me say, and I am going to refresh the page. See here, this is our flex container, right? And this is our flex container. To visualize our flex items, and I am going to use one flex item, and for every flex item I want to make my background color as red. We are going to refresh. See, here we have flex items with the background color of red, and we have total container of black. But I don't need this much. I don't need this size container, and I want to reduce the width of the container. And for that I am choosing my width as 40%. Okay, I am taking the 40% of width. See, this is the enough thing that I need, and I want to make my flex items width as, see, and if now I am increasing my, I want to make these all alignments in a side by side. For that I want to display all these items in a flex manner. For that, in our flex items, I am using our display feature. Not in our flex items, I am using in our flex container. I am using my display feature as flex, right? By using this, by going to refresh, see here all will be arranged as per your requirement. And this is the usage of flex, and I want to make all these items, flex items, at the center of our container. For example, if you observe carefully, see here, if you observe carefully, this entire black colored background is nothing but a flex container. Okay, and these red color containers are nothing but flex items. Okay, these red color things with the text of 001, 002, 003, 004, 005 are nothing but the flex items. And we are going to use some flexbox properties to our web page to get your understanding on flexbox. Okay, here we are using display feature. Okay, we are using display property, and I am considering the display property as flex, which makes our all flex items in an side by side arrangement. And if I want to make this property of align items, right, I am taking my align items property, and for that align items I am using my property value as center. Okay, if I going to use that, if I going to refresh the page, those are all things will be already at the center of our particular container. But if I want to justify my items, okay, I want to justify the content, and I am using my justify content as center. So I am going to use that. See here, all the things will be justified at the center, particular center of the container. If you use align items, the whole things will be set right to the center of our container height. For example, if we have a container height around height of the container, I am using 100 pixels, right? So I'm going to refresh. See here, I am removing the justify content from now for now. And if I also don't have this align items property, if I'm going to refresh the page, this is the general thing that we have. Okay, those are all the flex items. All flex items will be stretched over this container. For that, if I use these align items at the center, see, all will be aligned at the center for the entire height. And if I going to use this justify content with the center value, and I am going to refresh, all the elements will be centered, okay, for this entire overall container. Okay, if you consider the along the width axis, it will be we have to use justify content to the center. Okay, that means if we take an axis like this axis is called main axis, and the perpendicular axis to the main axis is called margin axis. Okay, and when you want to arrange all your flex items along the main axis, that means on the width side, we have to use justify content. Okay, I am using the justify content to make all my items at the center along my width dimension. If I want to make my list items for the center based on our height requirements, that means we are going to use align items at the center. We can have align items to the flex start. That means these all will be turned to the top of our container. Okay, if I am going to refresh, see here. Okay, and this thing also I can give the value as flex start. That means these all items will be started with this point. Okay, if I am going to refresh, see. These are all the alignment of the flex items in our web page. Okay, and this is all about the flex box and flex container and flex items. We are using the center as the value for most of the cases. I am using my flex alignments as center and my justify content as center. Okay, I need this thing, and if I want to make changes for the particular item, for that, if I going to add another class for my third element, right? I am using another class like element. Okay, I am going to use element. For that, I am using dot element. Okay, element class selector. For that, if I want to make my properties individually to that particular element, for that, if I am using align self. Okay, to give a particular property for the particular element, we are going to use align self. Okay, for within that align self, I am going to use my flex start value. If I refresh the page, see here, the third element will be adjusted at the top of the container, which we are given as the value as align self as flex start. Okay, another thing that you need to consider here is we have an order property. If I take order here, and I am going to use, see here, every flex item will have default value of 0. Okay, every flex item will have default value of 0 with an order. Okay, the order value of every flex item in our flex container is by default 0. Okay, if I want to move the particular thing to the first one, okay, for that we have an order. If I use -1 here, see here, see, the third element will be turned to the first. That means we are moving the third element to the first element by using the property of order and giving the value to the order as -1, because all flex items will have default to order values as 0, and if we consider this particular order value as -1, it will be turned to the first element. And again, if you consider here, I am taking again element like element 2, right? I am considering the class as element 2, and if I going to change particular things to my element 2, right? I am considering that element 2, and I am giving my order value as If I going to refresh the page, see here the last item will be comes to the first item. See here, if we don't have this thing, the general order of the elements as we have 0 3 at the starting element, because we are giving the value of the order for the particular third element as -1, and that third element will be comes to the first element. And again we have the order of 0 0 1, 0 0 2, 0 0 4 and 0 0 5. If I have this thing for my particular fifth element, because this element 2 class selector we are considering in the fifth element, right? For that fifth element I am giving the my order property as -1. Okay, if I going to refresh the page, see that fifth element will be turned to the second element. And if I have another element like element 3 and I am using that class selector, and in the order I am giving my order value as 2, right? If I going to refresh the page, see here the first element which will be placed here will be jumped to the 2 steps. That means it is replaced by +2 steps. That means we are taking the positive value here. That means we are considering the 2 value. If we don't have this element selector, if I going to refresh, see here we have the 0 0 1 which will be under this element 3 class selector, and I am going to remove these comments and I am going to apply the order value as 2. That means by default value of this particular 0 0 1 flex item is 0, and when I am giving the order of that particular flex item as 2, it will be moved to the 2 steps positively. If I going to give the value as negative, it will be move the item to the leftwards, that means negative side. While I am giving my answer, my order value as 2, if I am going to refresh, see that 0 0 1 will be shifted to the 2 right movements. That means 2 positive turns. Okay, this is all about the flexbox and the flex items. And as for now, I don't need all this stuff here and here. If I am going to refresh, this is our general thing. And even though I don't need all these things, but I don't know why all these things are be considered here. Okay, those are all will be removed. Okay, these are all about the flex content. Okay, these are all about the flex box and the aligning of the flex items in our flex container. Okay, and we will catch up in the next video. Thank you.